Hello, guys. This is Lydia, the lifestyle coach, and so fun to come to you live. I think that we are live. There's a new, okay. All right. I think we're live now. Hey, guys, Facebook has like a new interface, so I'm figuring out like, oh, am I live right now? But I think that I am. And hello. Hello, this is Lydia, the lifestyle coach, and we are ending eating disorders using nothing but your brain. And welcome to the live feed today. Feel free to say hello, hearts, likes, and comment with if this has been your experience. And we're going to do a live today about all of the things that go into an eating disorder, we actually adapt to over time. And it's actually one reason why this problem with food continues. And when I'm talking about problem with food, I'm talking about binge eating, bulimia, overeating, food obsession, body hate, all of the things that we tend to label it, right? So you might call yourself an emotional eater. You might call yourself a chocoholic. You might call yourself a stress eater. And whatever that is, know that it is the same principles that absolutely end this problem and fix this problem. And that's exactly why people from all over the world come to us, so that we can be able to show them how to be done once and for all, to not just manage this problem with food, but to not have a problem with food anymore. And this means being completely free of the obsession and the planning and the worrying about food and body all the time. So ending the mental struggle, that hamster wheel that goes round and round. This also means the physical compulsions, right? These compulsions to binge, or the actual binging, or the actual overeating. So with all those things in mind, a principle that I want to teach you guys about today is this feeling of like, oh, okay, well, this has just been my life and how it's always been. And the danger with something that is so present in our lives that we're struggling with every day is that it might start out as, this is just not me. Like, I'm a healthy person. Like, I'm somebody who's in control. I have no idea why this is happening. But after so many years, and a lot of times decades of this going on and on and on, what happens is that it becomes part of our identity. This is just who I am. Oh yeah, I've always struggled with food. It's just who I am. I'm somebody who just can't start any package of food or I'm going to finish it. I'm somebody who can't have one bite of sugar because then I just go crazy. And it really turns into an identity piece for us, which can be a really dangerous thing, because once it's your identity, then it just becomes who I am and what I do, and then it promotes more of that same behavior, which a lot of times will make it worse and worse and worse over time, as eating disordered behaviors and thoughts usually do, and that's how they go. So I'll give you guys a really interesting example. There's a movement expert that I've worked with who's amazing. He's one of the top movement experts in the world. And what he talks about is that your body adapts to anything that is off. So if you have pain, your body starts numbing it and ignoring it, especially if it's chronic pain over time. For instance, people won't notice, like your brain sort of makes pathways around the things that, oh, hello. Okay. I think someone's commenting. You guys, this is a different interface. So if you just say hello, let me know how this is working, because I want to make sure that I can see your comments. If you guys have any questions, I'd love to address those, but I'm trying to figure out this new view. And for those of you listening to the audio, that won't matter for you, but hello, and I'm so glad you're listening to the podcast. Okay, so one thing that he talks about is he'll have someone walk, because walking is a really natural human thing, and it gives a really good indicator of where the brain is going dark, what the brain is ignoring. So he might see somebody, walk down the length of the room and walk back, and he'll be like, how long have you had a limp? Robin, hello, good morning. Okay, I'm so glad to know that the chat is working. Hello, so fun to see you here. So he'll ask somebody to walk back, and back toward him, and he'll say, how long have you been walking with a limp? And they say, I don't have a limp. I want you guys to understand, this is something that can be seen from the outside, something that is a very obvious thing. But for that person, they're saying, I don't have a limp. And that is because the body and the brain adapts. It adapts especially to things that repetition. If you're limping every single day. Oh, Elisa, hello. Hi. Oh, coming off of night shift right now. Way to go. So happy that you guys are here. This is awesome. And so what will happen is that our brain and our body adapt to something that's just been going on and on and on. And Robin and Lisa, feel free to comment if you guys can relate to this as well, because I know that you guys are awesome and the principles that we teach. And what you guys need to understand is that your body and your brain adapt to an eating disorder. So all of the problems, just like people aren't able to see a limp when they have a limp, but it can be seen from the outside, our body and our brain numbs to all the things. So let's say that we're feeling out of control with food, or let's say that we're thinking about food all day long, or let's say that we are really emotionally just like sad and in a lot of anxiety. We tend to just become numb to those things. Our brain just numbs it out. It's not sustainable to feel that pain all the time. And so our brains just go to, oh, this is normal. Oh, there's nothing big going on. Oh, this is just how you feel. Have you guys ever been in pain and then gotten out of it? Or had some issue with your lungs where you couldn't breathe very well and then you could breathe again? It's like, oh, I've had this experience where, wow, like I didn't realize how little I was breathing until I could breathe again. Or I didn't realize how much pain I was in until I was out of it. And that is because your emotions, your body, your brain adapts. And it turns into this tunnel vision where instead of seeing ourselves as a whole, we just see ourselves in pieces. And we're not putting those pieces together. And we're trying to manage those pieces. So it turns into like this game of whack-a-mole. Like, I'm exhausted. I need a cup of coffee. All right. So we try to take care of that and survive from day to day. Oh my gosh, my back hurts so much. Like maybe I need to go to the chiropractor. Oh my gosh, I'm just, so anxious all the time. Like maybe I need this new supplement, or maybe I need to take this medication. And we start seeing all of the side effects of our eating disorder. Oh yes, Nancy, hello. So fun to see you here. Yes, I'm so excited to see you later as well. And we try to manage all these little pieces, and it gets harder and harder to manage. And we're not seeing it as a whole. We're seeing it as, I wake up and I'm anxious, and so I take this pill. I'm exhausted, and so I have this cup of coffee. I'm in pain, so I'm trying to do this. And we get this tunnel vision of like, oh, okay, I have to fix this and I have to fix that. And because we can't see the big picture, then it just turns into this constant struggle of managing all the side effects of really what's happening at the root, which is our distorted relationship with food and all of the awful emotional and physical and mental side effects that come from that. And so I want to really bring awareness to you guys, because you can't, just like when, somebody walks and they can't see their own limp, or they say, oh, I don't have a limp. It's the same thing that happens. We say, oh, well, you know what, I'm managing. Oh, well, I'm getting from day to day. Oh yeah, I'm tired, but maybe that's something else. And when we're able to see ourselves as a whole and see what's truly happening, then it's painful, but there is a purpose in that pain, because the only way out is through. And you've got to be able to see what you can't see. Now, a lot of times we can't see this on our own, and we need help to do that. I've talked about this before, but it's like you can't see what's on the label of the jar when you're living inside the jar. So just like somebody who says, I don't have a limp, when obviously they do have a limp and it can be seen, a lot of times we'll say to ourselves, oh, well, I don't have a problem with food. I'm just, kind of, crazy about sugar. And so I just need to avoid it. But then we're not seeing all of the building side effects that are happening all around us. And that's why we do what we do. That's why we do free breakthrough sessions, because we want to help people to have that really first important foundation of freedom, is for them to be able to actually see what's going on. And it's your life. You see it. It's like looking in a mirror. It's like, oh, wow, I do walk with a limp. Oh, wow, like that is happening. And it's a huge relief, but then it also allows you to be able to move forward and change, because you can actually see what is happening. You guys see how impactful that is? And this is why people for 40, 50 years, decades, keep on going with an eating disorder, because of the numbing, because they keep on getting numbed to what's happening, and they're just managing more and more and more until something really big happens. Diabetes diagnosis. Now they're not mobile anymore. Now they've lost their job because they keep on missing days with this. Now they've lost a relationship, and they get to this point of this wake-up call. And we want you guys to be able to fix this problem before you have your next big wake-up call, before you have another diagnosis, before you've broken your metabolism beyond repair. That's why it's so important to really fix this right now. So here is the other difficult part of that. is when we get into this identity of like, oh, well, this is just who I am and I'm just managing this and I'm a tired person, right? So now it's not, wow, food is making me so tired because I'm constantly thinking about it all day. It's we've numbed to that. We're trying to manage that. And now our identity is like, I'm just exhausted. And so we do more and more to try to manage that. And then on top of that, we still have this problem with food. And we're at our threshold. So the human body, the human mind can only handle so much, you guys. Can only handle so much. You are not unlimited. There is a breaking point. So with all of the physical factors, right? You have all of these physical factors of I'm exhausted, I'm in pain, I'm dealing with this autoimmune disorder now. And then you have all these mental factors of I'm depressed and I'm anxious. And all of those things take energy to manage, even if we are numb to it. Understand this. Because you are numb to it doesn't make it go away. It just means that it's out of your awareness. But your liver and your mind and your psyche, your emotions, it all has to still manage those things. So now we're at our threshold because we're managing all of these things over time that have stacked up. And then we binge. And with the physical and the mental and the emotional strain on top of that, that's when people start having the panic attacks. That's when people start having these mental breakdowns. That's when people start getting diagnoses like cancer. Like it's that limit for your body that it just cannot handle. And that doesn't mean that it's in that one binge, but it's this repeated pattern that goes on and on and on. Now, you're at your threshold. You're managing a lot, even if it's not in your awareness, but you've just gotten used to it. And by used to it doesn't mean it's not damaging you. It just means that you're numb to it. And then you binge on top of that. So you're already at capacity, and then you have this really difficult thing you're having to handle on top of that, and all the shame and all the guilt and all the physical damage. And it's so difficult that we start numbing out. So this is something that you can look at in your own pattern. If you're in this pattern of binging, and you used to binge and just be totally freaked out about it. So the whole time you're saying, I have to stop. I have to stop. Oh my gosh, like, why can't I stop this? Oh, okay, one more bite, but then I'm going to put it away. Okay, well, that wasn't satisfying. I'll just go and get this. Oh my gosh, I have to stop. This is so not me. That may have been the first stage. Then when your brain and your body just can't handle that anymore, it's still, all the damage is there. But what it transfers to is, it might sound like language like this for you. It's like, I just numb out. It's like I just go black. It's just like I just see myself doing this. It's like I'm not even aware of what's happening until afterwards. It's like I just lose that time. This is what your brain is doing. It's numbing out. You're losing life right then. Your fight, your fire is fading. And it's after that that things get much, much worse. Like these are the stages of where it goes, you guys. So please understand. Like if you're at that point where this is already, well, I just numb out, this is just what I do, then that's further along in this really awful thing. Like when people talk about a downward spiral, like this is how it happens. So first you're at capacity, then you are binging on top of that, which is putting you beyond capacity and you're numbing out. But then you still wake up at some point afterwards. Maybe not all the way. Maybe there's still a lot out of your awareness. You've just gotten used to being depressed every day. You just gotten used to being exhausted every day. You just have worked around the pain that you have. Now it's chronic pain. Now it's, oh, well, that's just how I live. You don't even realize how much pain you're in. You just stopped doing all the things that hurt. And then you've gotten a world that's smaller and smaller. But even with so much of that being out of your awareness, after a binge, whether it's that night when you can't sleep, whether it's that deep sinking feeling in the morning of, I can't believe what happened last night, then you're still having to deal with those emotions. Just because they were numbed a minute ago doesn't mean that you get rid of them. Now you have to deal with those emotions. And then on top of that, the emotions that you were trying to numb with food, on top of that, then you've got all of the emotions that came from what you did with food. So what do we do? What do we do to deal with how difficult that is and all those emotions? We do it again. And we do it again. We try to escape the lives that we have created through our eating disorder by more of our eating disorder. When we talk about downward spiral, again, like that is exactly how it goes. And I want you guys to be aware of this. The more that you can have it in your awareness, then the better of you actually fixing this. And that is why we do free breakthrough sessions, because you've got to be able to have this awareness so you can actually make that change, because you can't fix a problem that is outside of your awareness. So I want to give you guys a really useful tool today and an exercise to get in touch with what is truly happening, because numbing is never the answer. Delaying, covering it up is never the answer. The damage is still there. It is absolutely still there. And when we try to escape that feeling, it not only makes it emotionally worse, but it makes our eating disorder worse as well. And there is a purpose to the pain. There's a purpose to the reality. It is a way that your brain and body communicates with you. If you have a stabbing pain in your body and you just keep on taking more medication to numb the pain, that could kill you, because there is a reason that pain is there. That's why with extreme pain, people go to the hospital, because like, whoa, there's something really major happening. So if you keep on numbing the pain and the reality of an eating disorder, then what happens is that it continues to get worse until this is something like, let's say pain is coming from internal bleeding. Well, if you just ignore that, then it takes your life. And so I want to give you guys a tool right now to be able to get in touch with what's really happening. And know that being in touch with your emotions is not going to kill you. It's not going to hurt you. It might feel painful as in it's the reality, but it's not doing the damage that numbing is doing. So I'm going to show you guys a little tool here that we can do all together. If you're watching through the live feed or if you're listening to the playback, whatever it is, you can go ahead and participate. Be present with yourself right now. And first, take a deep breath. One more. Sometimes the first one is a practice. One more. And connect with yourself. It might be putting your hand on your heart. It might be just being aware of your body and where you're at right now. And you might feel that emotion coming through already. You don't have to fight it. You don't have to make it go away. It's okay to have emotion, but it's something that it's a damage if it gets stuffed down, and it's something where it's a tool if we can move through it. So if you're starting to feel something already, just with being present with your body for a minute, know how important this is, especially for you. Take some more deep breaths, connect with yourself, hand on your heart, be aware of where you're at. And like I said, we start seeing ourselves in all these little pieces. And I want you to start seeing yourself as a whole person. I want you to start getting in touch with your humanness. Think of who you are. You have people that love you. You have people that you love. You might be a daughter. You might be a mother. You might be a father or a son. You might be a teacher. You might be a friend. I want you to get in touch with the real humanness that you are. You are a human that has feelings. You are a human that can feel pain, that can feel joy. Even if it's been numbed, that humanness still allows you to do those things. You're somebody who can make someone else's day better. You're somebody who has the power to make someone else's day worse. You are a human that interacts with other humans. Take another deep breath and be in touch with yourself and your humanness. And without any sort of judgment, keep breathing. And I want you to just feel what is happening right now. Feel how this problem with food is impacting you. Feel the reality and don't be afraid to look at it. Not looking at it doesn't make it go away. It just makes it harder to fix. You can always go back to numbing. You can always go back to ignoring it. But give yourself this human time right now to truly connect with what is actually happening, how you're actually feeling. Take a deep breath. I want you to ask yourself the question, what is the hardest part of this? What is the hardest part of this? Is it what it's done to your relationships, to your health? Is it what it's done to your confidence, your body, your self-respect? Is it that it's giving you a feeling of failure? Are you worried it's never going to end? Are you worried that your life is being wasted on this? It's okay to look at it. The only way out is through. Take another deep breath. and know the gift that you are giving to yourself right now. You are giving yourself the gift of being able to see the reality of what's happening, to see the reality of truly how this is impacting you, to see yourself as a whole. And if this is something that you want to fix, this is something that you're tired of numbing, that you're tired of going from day to day, keeping your head above water and waiting until this day is over, measuring every single day in, all right, is this going to be a good day or a bad day, measuring all of your worth on how you're eating, missing out on your real life because everything is consumed about food and body, then know that there is hope and there is help. We've done this hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. Women who have come to us that have had no hope, feel free to share, you guys. Like if you guys, are grads of our program and you've been through this journey, share like how little hope that you had and then what it's like on the other end, that you don't even have to believe that it's possible for you to be done, possible for you to be free. When you get to the root of this, you absolutely can be free. And that is what hundreds and hundreds of people all over the world are getting to experience because they've gotten at the root of this. And the first foundational piece is to be able to see what's actually going on. It's like a GPS. Like you've got to know where you're at before you can get to your destination. You can think about your destination all day long. This is actually a really huge problem with a lot of people who are into law of attraction and, those principles that can serve someone very well. But there are so many people out there trying to fix their eating disorder by just ignoring their eating disorder and just looking at no, this is how I want to be. This is my dream body. This is my vision board. I refuse to think of anything else. And all the while, they're getting autoimmune disorders. They're gaining 50 pounds. Their whole life is shutting down. But they have these blinders on. I'm just not going to look at it. I'm just not going to look at it. You will never fix your problem that way. You will never fix your problem that way. We know. We've been doing this for a long time, and we know exactly what it takes to get the other side of this. And you've got to know where you're at first so that you can get to where you want to go. Your GPS is not going to turn on. You're not going to see the path of how to do this unless you take a good solid look at what's happening. But most things, most of the damage that especially we are numbing to is outside of our awareness. And so know, it's a really healthy experience to be able to see what's truly going on. And we're here to help you guys with that so that we can get you clear on the exact next steps about how to solve this. So if you want to be done with this, if you're tired of numbing out the one life that you get to experience, you can go to lifewithlydia.com/apply. Again, that's lifewithlydia.com/apply. And we will get you that foundation of freedom and really work with you to get the awareness of what you need to know right now so that you can get to where you ultimately want to go and what freedom means for you. So again, this is Lydia, the lifestyle coach. And so fun to have all of you guys on and signing off. Okay, bye guys.